Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Whenever you are in an argument, meaning in a dispute, verbal dispute, in a contradictory discussion, do not or always attack as a technique the premises of the conversation, the issue. The premises set by the opponent. Regardless if you agree with them to a certain extent or not, always say, no, I have an issue with your premises. With the premises, the whole argument and the discussion is put forward and we have to obey. Why? Because therefore you say, no, your arguments that you're going to use are not going to be valid based on my premises. So if these are your premises, I have the right to set my premises. So do this, and it's going to help you in your rhetoric and your argumentation techniques. In this case, these guys that are in charge of us, they already set the premises of the conversation, which is we, the little people, the bottom feeders, the losers in the society, we have to agree or at least follow what these guys decide in Ukraine. So this is the premises. Ukraine has a problem and that is my problem. That's the premises. No, that's not my problem. So that's my premises. Now, they, based on that premises that these guys, the framework of this whole issue, that they set down and they say, settle, they say, this is the premises. We have to do something about we. No, I disagree with that premises. No, we don't have to do anything about it. I don't have anything to do with that. Now, they think that that's a given. We have to do something and we're doing something and we will do something. And what are you going to do about it? You have to, because otherwise you're a bad person. If you don't agree with our premises, and I disagree with that. So what's going to happen now? These guys want to give those guys money from me. And what's going to happen next? They impose sanctions on Russia that is your premises, is not my premises. They're not my premises. Maybe I have a different framework here. Then they impose sanctions on those guys. And if you don't agree with those sanctions, then you're a bad guy. Again. They try to shame you. They don't use this, they use this. And they try to shame, assassinate your character in public if you're a known person. Now the thing is, what they do based on that, on the sanctions, there are shortages in this case, in this article that I'm going to discuss, in Germany. Energy shortages, gas shortages, and so on. So they have the Uniper, the biggest company over there. Who's in trouble? Is in trouble because of the sanctions imposed on Russia. Russia retaliates, obviously, self-defense. Or you can say, well, what's self-defense? Well, self-defense is Russia did not do anything to Germany until Germany put sanctions on Russia. So you cast the first stone, they now retaliate. And they should say so, not weasel like, it's the turbine, it's maintenance. No, we retaliate. And we're going to do it again if you do that. And if you do that, we're going to do this. That's how you do it. Oh my God, no, don't do that. So this is what, and then Uniper tells us, again, like we accept the whole framework, that we or they have to rationize the gas. And that means we're going to have rations. Whenever we can use gas and when they're going to be shut off and all that. Like we agree already with, we are all together in it. This is the premises. I disagree with that. We're not all in it. It's you guys and those guys that made you do all this. And we're not with you. We're not in the same boat, or at least I am not. I disagree with the premises of your situation. So when you tell me we might have to do that, no, we would not even have to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. So the conversation doesn't go further than that. But what can you do? So this article comes from the Telegraph, I think it's come. And then it's I got it wrong here or what? Yeah, let me just. I wasn't sure if it was not from a Telegraph or not. So it's from the Telegraph here, and it says Germany from today, 5 of September. Germany may have to ration gas, warns Uniper boss. So we got a guy in charge of a company, and that's bailed out by the German people because of they agreed to be all together in it, because Uniper is going down, but then they bail those guys out. And then they tell you that now they're going to have to do this to you. So they started from zero, Again, my little slope analogy, from little, they get you used until they get in the end and say, no, we do whatever we want to you. And you will get gas when we tell you you're going to get gas, people. That's the top of the mountain where they come with a bullhorn and announce you. But they can't do this they couldn't have done it on the 25th of February when Russia did what they did with Ukrainians, because the transition would be too fast and you are not ready. You're not, massaged, when you do an injection, you first do like this and then you put the syringe on. The same here. You are not softened yet. So now they start with little things. Oh, we're gonna bet people Russian. What should we do? Oh, how about we put little sanctions? Then we put first sanctions, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth, and blah, blah, blah. And we get there. In the end, you gotta accept that we're gonna ration gas. And you zip it. That's how you are right now. And the next one is gonna be from gas. It's gonna go to food. It's gonna go to air. It's gonna go to sex. It's gonna go to everything else you have. Why? Because it's about having the authority to even do that. No, you don't have the authority to do that. Why did you get us in this kind of situation? You are guilty. You. German gas importer Uniper isn't ruling out that Europe's biggest economy will eventually consider gas rationing following the latest cut to Russian supplies. Yeah, they were right there on the top of the mountain with one more step. And they said, isn't ruling out the Europe biggest will eventually, which is going to right here, you got to do it. It's one more step. You find out in about a few days. They're going to say, well, we're going to ration that. We have to, because, we're all together in this and we have to punish Russia. Okay. Uniper, which is Germany's biggest importer of Russian gas, is also considering legal action against Kremlin-controlled Gazprom to compensate its shareholders for a 90% drop in market value since June. Yeah, and they're going to say, no, you impose sanctions on us, so we're going to sue all of you and your children. Klaus-Dieter Maubach, I thought it was Maybach, chief executive of Uniper, told Reuters, and I'm quoting, we cannot rule out, they're going to rule out for me. No, you get out and we're going to fix things. I'm going to tell you how. We cannot rule out that Germany might look at rationing gas as something that might have to be considered. We know that the government wants to avoid this as much as possible because that would be a disaster for so many reasons, you tell me. European gas price surged on Monday after Russia stopped pumping via Nord Stream and said it wouldn't restart flows until Western sanctions were lifted. I made an article a video on that article. So you see here, is going to be a disaster. This is how you fix it. You tell those weasels in control of you and are the mediators in between you and the handlers actually, and the interest, which is energy interest and banking interest and arm manufacturing interest. You tell those weasels to get out or to stop sanctioning those crazies. Those crazies will give you gas and you avoided your little cap and your little rationing and so on. And believe me, or not believe me, but there's no sign that the Russian boot will kick your door in the next morning, as they try to scare you. If we don't impose sanctions on those evil Russians, the next day the Russian boot will kick your door in. It's gonna rape your wife, it's gonna take your children, you're gonna get it to do certain things, and you're gonna be again taken to the gulags. This is how the story goes, okay? Now that's a big extension. It's like I tell you, hey, you can't go outside at all because maybe a meteor is gonna fall on your head, or an airplane, or who knows, maybe a shit from a bird is gonna hit you in the head and crack your skull open. Is this possible? Yes, oh my God, yeah, 1 in 50 billion odds. That's what it is. The same with the Russians. Is it possible? If it's possible, what's the percentage? What is the odd that this would happen? If it's like 0.5, then that's not a threat, because I can think of other threats that are more than 0.5. Okay? I can think of another example if you remember. If you remember, the same thing with that one. Was it 80% odds? Was it 50%? Was it 20%? What was the death rate? I would like to know. What was the death rate? 1%, 5%, I can remember. Anyway, it was not 50%. Oh my God, we gotta do something. The Russians are right here. They're on the galloping with the swords and the horses again. Jesus Christ. So yeah, those weasels who are doing the bidding, not you, the voters, democracy. Yeah, okay. Those guys over there. Their interest. Look who's making money. Look who gets bailed out. Are you getting bailed out? No, you're going to be rationed, and you're going to pay more in taxes for the bailout for those Uniper and other companies. And who's getting the money? The bankers. The banks. Where do they get the money? The banks. They're going to say, we're going to put some $5 trillion, okay? Now, we have money to give you. How much you want? Okay, you get that. Backed by nothing. By nothing. And they are fat cats, and you are not going to take showers and electricity and do whatever you do. Live a decent life for what you worked your life. And your children, and you, and your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, they will pay for these weasels that they made the decisions right now. It's not something that affects us for about 3 days. That's going to remain, and some people have to pick up the poop. Who's going to be that? It's going to be you, it's going to be your child, it's going to be your grandchild. Democracy, great, great. And the virtue medal that you can put because you saved Ukraine. You didn't save Ukraine. You saved some leaders that are at someone else's payroll, the same guys, to get those guys on their knees. Good or bad. Good or bad. That's a different video. So yeah, good luck. No showers for you. All right, go when it rains, go get your soap and get some shower when it rains. And when it's winter, I don't know what to say, roll over in the snow, something. Figure it out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.